Hey guys, what's going on? It's Lil Dan596 here, and I am going to be discussing the new rule set for Super Smash Bros. For Super Smash Bros. Wii U in 2017. This is just a topic. I saw this article floating around Reddit, I saw it floating around Twitter, Facebook, Discord, Twitch, everywhere. And it's just something that I kind of want to talk about, give my opinions about, and discuss to you guys, and even bring this upon some of you guys who have not seen this before. So it's this Google Doc link that everybody's been sending around, and it's bringing up a lot of controversy, and everybody's talking about it. So I kind of wanted to, put in my own 2 cents about this. But before I jump into this, I do want to make a little side note that The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD Lil review will be coming out next week. It took me a little longer to edit the video than expected, but try to expect it by next week sometime. Yeah, the video just took me a little bit longer to edit, and that's all. So anyways, back to the subject at hand. So this is from Tantaralius. It's kind of hard to see right here. But the author's right there, and the contributors are Bam, Bear, Blind, Champ, D1, Marquita. By the way, I can't fucking pronounce names for the life of me. I cannot pronounce anything. Tantarlis, TLTC, TMPR, Vaseth, Zan, Template, and then the template is created by Nintendo. Okay, so this is. Alright, so I'm going to read some of this. I'm not going to read some of the boring stuff, but I'm going to read most of this. So, author's note. This rule set is what we put in place for a large majority of the major tournament events in 2017. So that is going to be like Guts and Shine and all these other things. PAX East, EVO, everything. This is our recommended guideline for any tournament organizer looking for a standardized rule set to follow. Additionally, this document will not be covering conduct rules directly, but rules specific to the game itself, as conduct rules change based on the event and venue. So first off, tournament rules. All tournament sets will be best of 3 matches, yada yada, and then the top 3% is like whatever, best of 5, which standard rule, whatever. Everybody's agreed to that. The set procedure, this is just basically going through how the matches are played through, and striking and banning and whatever, blah blah blah. Gentleman's clause is just if 2 people agree, if each of the opponents agree upon a stage to start off, they can just start on that stage. For 99% of the games played, people just start on Smashville. Whatever. Double blind character selection, you don't really see that rule happening too much, but I can kind of see it being a rule. So, for example, it says each player may request that a double blind selection occur. In this situation, a referee or third party will be told in secret of each player's choices for the first round. Both players are to agree to select their first round character, with the referee validating that the character selection. So basically saying, hey, I'm going to play Link game 1, but I don't want my opponent to know that. And if I choose Link, he might choose a counterpart, like maybe Mewtwo or something like that. I'm only just saying that because Mewtwo has a reflector, you can reflect projectiles. But, so I don't want my character, if I'm picking Link, I don't want him to pick Mewtwo. I want him to actually pick his main versus my Link or whatever. So I kind of like that rule, but nobody ever uses it. Port priorities / stage striking. I think this rule is kind of dumb. It's just there, but nobody ever uses this rule. Start a match, players will in contact the best of 1, rock, paper, scissors, or a Game & Watch judgment. Winner may select to strike first or second, or choose the port priority, and the loser will choose the remaining options. So it's like if I want port 1 on the GameCube or the Wii U adapter, whatever, this is how I do it. And if I don't get port 1, I'm going to throw a hissy fit. Nobody ever does that. Pausing. Okay, so this is something that I kind of wanted to cover too. Pause settings should be off. However, if they are not, pausing is only legal while the player remains upon their own respawn platform, which I 100% agree upon. and only for the purpose of summoning a tournament official or in the case of controller malfunction. I have been in tournaments with the GameCube adapter screws up, and people have lost games because of that, and they can't pause, and the opponent, they're just going to take the stock or take the game because whatever reason. They're like, oh, I don't care that your controller's not working, I'm going to take this and take that win. And then the other person gets extremely salty. I've seen it firsthand. The other person gets extremely salty. So I definitely think this rule should be put in place. All other pauses will incur a stock loss to the player who pauses the game. If the pause causes the opponent to lose an entire stock, the player who pauses forfeits 2 stocks. So I agree upon that. This I would love. Rule 1.7. I would love to bold it, star it, exclamation point it. Make the font size bigger. This is a very, very important rule that I agree upon. Stalling or intentionally making the game unplayable is banned at the discretion of tournament staff. Stalling includes but is not limited to becoming invisible, counting infinites past 300%, and reaching a position that your opponent can never reach you. Stalling will result in a forfeit of the match for the player initiated the action. So the main characters you see this from are 4 Glory Links and mostly Sonic players. There are a few other characters, but these are the 2 big ones. Or even Cloud players too. So the number one reason of which I was told that Umbra Clock Tower is not tournament legal is because of this rule. Because people would just go and hide, and your opponent would never get to you, and you would time them out. This is where I think this rule needs to come into play more often. Because if you intentionally see somebody, so there's a huge difference between stalling and then just waiting out the time limit. If you've been fighting for the full 6 minutes or 5 minutes and there's 30 seconds left on the clock, go ahead and stall the rest of it. I think that's fine. I think that's perfectly fine. But if you start out the game running away, constantly running away so your opponent can never reach you, or standing on the top of the platform on Duck Hunt and your opponent's like a little Mac and they can't get you, that is where the opponent should be taking a game or something. This rule is never enforced. Nobody ever loses stocks or loses a match or anything because of stalling. We see it all the time in tournaments, especially with Sonic players. We see it, I'm sorry for calling out those Sonic mains, but you see it a lot with that. And they'll just sit there and spin dash in place and spin dash in place and spin dash in place, or shield or whatever, and the opponent just sits there and they're like, I don't really know what to do. I can't do anything. Every time I go up to him, he just runs away. Tournaments seriously need to enforce this rule 10 times. Stalling makes tournaments go way slower, but if we see a tournament and somebody's stalling, people in chat are just gonna be like resident sleeper, or they're gonna be like, whatever, this Sonic sucks, whatever, blah blah blah, and then the Sonic will end up winning the set, and it just doesn't make any sense, because it's yeah, I can kind of understand that is a way to win the game, but when you're intentionally doing it and triggering your opponent, and you're just you're basically not contributing in any combat whatsoever, that shouldn't be allowed. I mean, I think I said a little too much on stalling. I'm going to revisit stalling later, because that is one of the main reasons why I even wanted to make this video. So self-destruct moves. If the match ends with a self-destruct move, the result screen will determine the winner. If a sudden death occurs, the standard sudden death rules apply. Okay, sudden death, blah 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 blah. If they both die at the same time, player with the least amount of percent wins. Blah blah blah. Stock sharing. Taking a partner's stock is allowed in doubles. Okay, everybody knows that. Grab and go clause. In doubles, player may not switch controllers with their teammate. Okay, I guess. I didn't know people do that. But alright, whatever. Missing teammate clause. If a player's teammate is not present for the match, that player may continue the tournament in 2v1 handicap matches. If the designated teammate arrives during a match, the teammate may rejoin the team at the completion of the match. So I think this is where this part gets a little controversial too. A 2v1 handicap, you know, that's basically saying the person who has 2 people on their team, hey, I'm taking this, like, you guys are basically taking this W for this round. And the other one person is slacking because, and he's losing this tournament because his opponent showed up, which I can kind of see, like, that's your opponent's fault, or your partner, not your opponent, your partner. You have to have your partner there, and I can kind of see that. But I think if this ever happens, they should at least do like a level 7 or 8 Ganon or something. But whatever, that's just my own 2 cents. I don't care too much for that rule. Ulting, you will be immediately disqualified for the tournament with no refunds if you are found using an alternate tag/tags and or hide your identity to manipulate the bracket and seeding. This expectation to this rule is if the player notifies the TO prior to the registration end date. Okay, so I can kind of see that being like, hey, I want to sign up under 2 different names so that I have more chances to win this tournament. Okay, I can see that. Team color request clause. Players may request that their opponent change colors to accommodate color blindness, or if their color is indistinguishable from either the team color or the stage/background. The request must be made before the match starts. Example, request Cloud to pick green team to distinguish if limit is charged, or having Sonic on blue team to prevent confusion. Yep, okay. Warm-up periods, button checks, and quote-unquote hand warmers may not exceed 30 seconds on the video game clock. Violations of this rule may result in an automatic forfeit of the discretion of the TL. Yeah, I think warm-ups should only be 30 seconds long. No longer than 30 seconds long. I 100% agree with that. Coaching/timeouts. Player may call a designated coach once per tournament set. If they are using a coach, they must indicate this to their opponent before the set begins, as well as notify their opponent who their coach will be. This must not exceed 30 seconds. So yes, in between matches, it should only be, I think this is another rule that should, like this and the hand warmer one, should be strictly enforced as well. Because I forget what tournament it was. It might have been CEO 2016, but DeBuzz was in the tournament, and it was like top 8. It's probably like top 4 at this point. And you know, he kept checking his laptop, and he was sending his laptop for like 5 minutes, and we're like, dude, come on, we're trying to watch the tournament. And everyone's like giving him a lot of shit about it, and he's like, alright, I'll put it down. I mean, obviously it wasn't like 5 minutes, I'm over exaggerating a bit, but it was probably like 2 minutes. So I think that it should be 30 seconds. I 100% agree with this. Tardiness. Anyone who is not present for their match by 15 minutes past the scheduled start is subject to a total disqualification from the event. I agree with that as well. I think I agree with that. Player suspected of colluding may be immediately disqualified from the tournament. This includes intentionally throwing a match, splitting a payout, or committing any other form of bracket manipulation. The TO. Okay, so this is basically like forming an alliance with somebody. Like, hey, if I play against you, I'm gonna toss the match so you can win, and then if you win, you gotta give me some of the money. I can kind of see that. But if it's a secret, it's gonna be hard to tell. But anyways. Misinterpretation/misconfiguration settings check. Okay, Genesis 4, you should have overlooked this section before Captain Zach and the other guy played their matches because it was set on 0.9. Games are set or not to be replayed due to a misinterpretation of the rules or misconfiguration of the game settings. Game settings should be configured according to section 2.1. It is the player's responsibility to ask the TO for any clarification of the rule set in the event of disagreement, and the outcome of the game will not be changed, and after the fact that unless extreme circumstances, judgment. Okay, yeah, you know, self-explanatory. Final rulings. If any unforeseen situations occurred, judgment of tournament staff is final. Rules may be altered between phases of the tournament in the best interest of the event. Example, a game-breaking glitch is discovered on stage mid-tournament that could be exploited. Thus, this stage may be removed from the legal play for the remainder of the event. Okay, yeah. So, game rules, game settings. So, this is the typical handicap off, team attack on, damage ratio 1.0, items off, pause off, custom fighters off, all DLC characters are illegal, Mii fighters are illegal. So it's funny, Okay, so yeah. No, meat fighters are illegal. All have 111. Whatever, blah blah blah. Stage list. This is another huge reason why I wanted to do this list. This video. This is probably the #1 reason, honestly. So the stage list is Battlefield, Final Destination, Smashville, Town and City, Dreamland 64, and Omega stages. You guys may be asking the same question I'm asking. Where the fuck is Lilac and where the fuck is Duck Hunt? Okay, so I'm since there's like 3 rules left, I'm gonna go through the rest of this and come back to that stage list, and then we're also gonna go back to stalling. So let's just continue on with the list. It says treated as Battlefield in striking phase. If Battlefield is banned, Dreamland 64 is also banned, and vice versa. And then also treated as Final Destination in striking phase. If Final Destination is banned, Omega stages are banned, and vice versa. You may only choose the following Omega stages: Suzaku Castle, Wily Castle, Palutena's Temple, and Guar Plains. Additional rules. Starter stage striking. See section 1.5 for details on choosing who strikes first. Player may strike, yada yada yada. We basically already did that. Counterpick strike. Stage striking after each game set. Before counterpicking, the player who won the previous game may strike one stage from either the starter or counter list. This strike does not pre-exist throughout the entire set. Controllers. For ease of access, tournament staff recommends the use of Nintendo GameCube controllers. However, the Wii U Pro controller, battery remove, Wii Nunchuck, Wii Remote plus Nunchuck, Wii Remote plus Classic controller, and the Nintendo 3DS controller are all permitted control options. So they're actually kind of saying you can use these controllers. You can use wireless controllers now because the Nunchuck and Wii Remote are wireless. You can't really wire that up to the Wii U, which is something very interesting. So why does it matter? I don't think. I mean, I understand there's like 2 people that play this game competitively with the Wii Remote and Nunchuck. Let's be honest, guys. I think that the Wii Remote, the Nunchuck, the Classic controller, blah blah blah, 3DS shouldn't. No, 3DS should be allowed, but the other one should not be allowed. Wii U Pro controller with battery removed. I agree. You know, I've had many tournaments where people have their Pro controller on, and you're going to play set, and you can't play the set because that kid's controller is on and it's still synced up to the system, and you actually have to restart the system and, you know, boot up Smash and everything before you can even play your match. So I think Wii U Pro controllers and Wii remotes should not be allowed. Whatever. Controller interference. If your controller is found to be the cause of disruption of the tournament, mid-match, or otherwise, you are subject to complete disqualification from the event. So, okay, this kind of ties into what I just said. If your Wii U Pro controller is, you know, sitting there and causing issues and crap, you're just completely disqualified, which is crazy. So, one thing that I noted before is they had one of the rules list for 2016, I believe, were like, oh, you can. I'm pretty sure it was like Evo. They're like, you cannot use Wii U Pro controllers. But yet they got, but so in pools, people couldn't use the Pro controllers or whatever. But then the big names were allowed to do it, but then the scrubs weren't. So your average Joe Schmo with his Pro controller couldn't play, but yet Craftus or, you know, other people, other big names can use their Pro controllers. That didn't. They're like bending the rules for the pros, which doesn't make any sense to me. You know, that should not ever be allowed. I've witnessed that firsthand. So I'm gonna go back to stage list for a second. I saw. Sorry about that. I am back, but I wanted to bring up something else. This is the Wii U Genesis 4 rule set. So we're gonna kind of do a little compare and contrast between this recommended rule set for 2017 and this Wii U Genesis 4 rule set. I don't remember if they actually, you know, used all of these rule sets in Genesis 4, but this is one of the Google Docs that they had released months beforehand. So one thing that I want to compare and contrast is the stage list. So again, let's take this in mind. Starter stages are Battlefield, Final Destination, Smashville. Counterpicks are Town and City, Dreamland, and Omega. Okay, so let's see what we have over here. Battlefield and Miiverse, which nobody ever really plays on Miiverse, let's be honest. They just play on Battlefield. Final Destination, Omega Midgar, or Omega Pokemon Stadium as alternatives. So let's take this, Omega Midgar or Pokemon Stadium. And then over here, they have Suzaku Castle, Wily Castle, Palutena's Temple, and Guard Plains. Where is Omega Midgar and Pokemon Stadium? And where did these 4 stages come into play? You know, they just pulling stages out of their ass. They're like, oh, these are my favorite stages to play on Omega, so let's make this in the rule set just because I like these stages. Or I don't know if it's equal blast zones as Final Destination or what, but Omega Midgar and Omega Pokemon Stadium, it's weird. Okay, and then let's go back. Lilac Cruise is present here. Town and City is no longer a counter pick, but it is a starter stage. And then counter picks have Dreamland 64 and Duck Hunt. So why did they take Duck Hunt off of here? Why did they take Lilac Cruise? Lilac Cruise I can kind of understand at times, because when the stage is tilting, you don't really recover, or you'll recover and you get janked out or whatever. I can sort of see that, but there are, from this rule set 2017, there is 6 legal stages out of the like 50 fucking stages that this game has. We need to have a little bit more than just 6 stages, because Melee has like what, 3 or 4 legal stages? I think we need to have more variety for our legal stages. Like honestly, I think this stage list is perfect. And then I think, honestly, if they added in Umbra Clock Tower too. So the main reason why I think that they should definitely keep Duck Hunt and definitely add in Umbra Clock Tower is because, first of all, Umbra Clock Tower has nothing to worry about. But people bitched about it, saying, oh, people are camping, I can never hit my opponent, the stage is too big, they're just camping. Cloud just charges limit underneath the stage. And then they're saying the same thing about Duck Hunt. They didn't say it, but people have told me that. They're saying the same thing for Duck Hunt here. Oh, you know, Cloud just sits on the top tree and charges limit. Or, oh, a Sonic just sits up there where a little Mac can't even touch him. So, a great way to fix that problem of those characters camping is if we go back here and we look for rule 1.7, stalling. When characters are doing that, they're stalling. They are literally postponing the match and waiting on the top tree of Duck Hunt, and they're waiting on those bottom platforms on Umbra Clock Tower. When you see that in a tournament, they should forfeit the match, or even lose, or just lose one of the sets or something, you know, lose that match. So there's no, if this rule is strongly enforced, you will never have to ban Duck Hunt. You know, Duck Hunt will be a good stage to keep. I think we need more legal stages in this game. But if all the other stages have hazards and walk-offs and whatever, blah, 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 I can understand that. So if we have these plus Umbra Clock Tower, like that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stages out of the like 50 stages we have. So we have 8 versus, you know, the 6 that they list here. I would rather have 2 extra stages. No, actually, they list 6 here. Did I count that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, okay. So I'd rather have 8 over 6 stages. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. And like this, because banning Duck Hunt, there's really no reason to ban Duck Hunt besides people camping on the top platform. Oh, the dog can be RNG every now and then, but look at Pokemon Stadium from Melee. There was transformations in that. You know, people camped on the other side of the rock wall and waited for the transformation to end, and then fought again. And nobody bitched about it. But now people are bitching about this because of Duck Hunt, because of the dog. It's just like a normal floating platform that comes in every now and then. It's almost like bitching, saying that Town and City's platforms suck because they fly away and they can drag you off the side of the stage. It's literally the same exact thing. It makes no sense. So I definitely think Duck Hunt should stay legal. I mean, Lilac, if you really want to get rid of Lilac, I guess so. I mean, not a lot of people playing it anyways, but Duck Hunt really should still be legal. And I understand that this rule set isn't set in stone. This is like, not every tournament is going to be like this. But if we just stick with the Wii U Genesis 4 rules list right here, just keep Smash the way it is. If it's not broken, why try to fix it? Let's be honest. And people are bitching saying it is broken. It's really not. You're just bitching and you're being salty. You know, oh, I lost my match on Lilac. Alright, get over it. You lost the match, dude. Fucking play again. Oh, the Sonic camp's on the top of this. Okay, so find a new alternative around it. Try to get up there. You know, I don't know. I don't really know. So, I mean, I'm shitting on other people bitching about the rules list and the stage list, and you know, stalling and stuff, when I'm the one who's completely bitching about all of this. I know I'm being a huge hypocrite right now, but if you just had Duck Hunt and you had Umbra Clock Tower in, you really need to enforce this 1.7 rule of stalling, because we see it all the time in tournaments, all the time, and nothing is done about it. They're just like, oh, that's how you play the game, you know, play lame, win game. I don't know. This rant is over. I'm fucking pissed. I'll